Didn't do the thing.
What up? What up? What up? We are back. I know it's not Monday. I'm sorry. Yesterday was a little bit crazy for me and for the rest of the family here at Get Right. So we are back here on a Tuesday. We're here to give you all of all your grades from our mock number 7 that we did on June 17th. I am here with good old Fishing Frank. How you doing, brother?
What up? What up? What up, people? You just forgot to say world. You got to put that
World.
what up, world in there.
Oh, I got to get
It's
the
all good.
world in there.
We're happy Tuesday here.
Yes,
Kind of
sir.
missed Monday, but that's all right. Things happen, and we all have lives, so we have to try to get to you guys as soon as we can.
Yes,
But we do
sir.
have some interesting news, right? We were just talking off on
Yeah.
air. So no further ado, we're here. Look, what's up, them boys? What's up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're on here. Got some grades for you guys. I think Anthony's finishing up his.
Yep.
I've yet to rank mine. I don't think I ranked mine, but mine's pretty clearly ranked, I think,
Yeah, no,
by my scoring.
I can see what you got, and everything should be, there's a couple with those B pluses that you can kind of flip around if you need to.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but there's a solid A, so the solid A is my number one. So we're gonna get there soon.
Perfect. Yeah, no, there was some big news today and this afternoon. We found out that Gronk is retiring. Wink. Like
Right?
right now, I mean, I keep hearing all different types of things that he's going to retire, that he's done. And okay, great. He posted it himself. He had this very long tweet of 100 things on Instagram. Fantastic. Honestly, I'm if you're done, you're one of the best that's ever played at tight end. Good for you. You finished a great career. Fantasy wise, we all know this kind of, we got to talk about the fantasy aspect. Like Gronk is a great player, great, whatever. Let's move on to the fantasy stuff and what happens because of this. And from what I can gather and what I kept reading today, I had a lot of time to read. Um, I mean, Cameron Brate is next up. So how do you feel about Cameron Brate in any shape, way, or form from what you've seen?
I've had them before on my fantasy team. I've used them. Um, Brady has a connection with them, if I remember correctly. He's thrown
Yeah.
at that
Oh,
before. It's just I'm not.
I got every other word from you, Frank. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was actually adjusting my audio. I was trying to hear you better. So, but yeah, I've had Cameron Brate on my team before. Just not. He's just not the number one guy. He's a hit and miss type of guy, and maybe he'll do something. But I really, I mean, he's got an opportunity. Let's face it. You get a bunch of targets from Brady, you're looking pretty good. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's Brady's thrown to him before in the past, if I remember correctly. He's thrown a couple touchdowns to him. We'll see if he could step up to the plate. Would I throw a flyer at him? I'd throw him as a tight end 2 on my team. Yeah, why not? Or
Okay.
definitely a waiver wire pickup. Later on, if things turn out. Let's see what happens in preseason. Let's see what happens in the first couple games, and then I sell it. Maybe I'll be a little late on that, but I doubt I'm going to miss out on too much. You know what I mean? Like I don't think you're looking at the next guy that's going to be in the top 5 or even top 10 tight ends. I mean, he might get there. But I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Like he's probably inside, maybe around outside of the top 10, right?
Yeah. No, he's definitely outside the top 10. I mean, for me, best ball, he's definitely a great target, especially right now. I mean, if you're doing a best ball draft today, get him now while he's cheap because he pretty much will be gone and his ADP is going to climb, really quick because he's the only real tight end there until they pick someone up. We have to wait and see how that goes. But if you're going to pick up somebody from, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go with Tom Brady as a tight end, you're going to have to go with, Cameron Brate. And it's not a bad person to take. I mean, they paid him well. There's a lot of different things involved. They're already, they gave him a decent contract, I think 2 years ago. So he's still there. Howard's gone, like them boys is mentioning right here. I mean, one thing that Kevin just said right here. So what up, Kevin? How's everything going? Gage, baby. Gage is going to be a huge target, which, I mean, honestly, they've been talking him up all season, all off season to be something good. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But, Tom Brady loves him. So we'll have to wait and definitely see. Beyond that part of the news, which, like I said, Gronk is, I've always been a love-hate relationship with Gronk. But at the same time, I'm happy for him. No, you do you. Got some word this afternoon or this evening that Odell's going to be out till November. Just take that into account for the other guys that are going to be out because of ACL injuries that happen near the end of the year, like Michael Gallup, Chris Godwin. It just means that they're going to be taking a couple extra days, and it might be, you might think October is probably the best time he might, those two come back. We'll have to wait and see a little bit more, but everything I keep hearing keeps screaming to me that they're not starting the season. I definitely think it's going to be a little bit later. And Wilson's saying, especially with Godwin hurt, Russell Gage takes a huge jump and should see a huge jump in ADP in the next few days. So, yeah.
I completely agree with what you're saying. That he had some sparks last year, and he's in a good situation now. I mean, you could only, see him rocket. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
And I thought it was kind of funny because I was like questioning. It was like, why, the draft of Mike Evans, now his stock has gone up a lot. You know what I mean? Like with Godwin down and everything else. And I was like, he's been solid the whole time. Like people should have been not sleeping on him. He's been. Remember how we were talking about the stats last year? It was like 1,000 yards every year and X number of touchdowns. And
I was huge on Mike Evans.
Yeah, huge. The numbers are always there. Well, not Anthony, like always still like and Dustin even was like, I'm like, it's not pretty, but he gets it done. Like
for sure.
Numbers don't lie, you know what I mean? Like so
I agree. He's definitely not a sexy pick, but he's one of those picks that can definitely help you win your season because he is just so underrated that people are just they just go, Chris Godwin's there, and they forget all about the concept that he's hurt, and then they just skip over him.
Yeah.
Russell Gage is definitely a person that I like as well. He was, if memory serves me, for like 5 weeks out of the season last year when he was the starting wide receiver. Don't quote me on exactly how much, but I remember he was like wide receiver 17 or something like that overall at the end, for 17, from week, I think it was week 10 to like 17 or something like that. It was insane.
Yeah.
He's a very special
he was putting up some numbers. He had some spark last year.
And he was doing that with Matt Ryan. So you can only imagine what he's going to be doing with someone like Tom Brady in a system like that. So I really do like Gage in this particular thing. But I know the news was about Odell. That's fine and dandy. It just means that maybe some team might go for him near, his near their playoff run and see what they can do. I know the Rams have been interested and they might try to re-sign him. We'll see what happens. But honestly, it's hard to put your money into someone that's not going to be ready until November. So last bit of news, which no one wants to talk about, but I at least have to make it relevant. I have to bring it up. We all heard today that Deshaun Watson settled 20 of 24 civil suits today. So there are 4 that are still pushing for trial. I honestly think there's 2 others that still need to go through that haven't gotten to this process yet that are still pending. So we'll have to wait and see how that part goes. But I'm just going to stick to the facts that I know now. There are still 4 cases that are going to be pending. With this whole thing that happened, it's at a point where the NFL is going to make their ruling soon. Whispers in the weeds are saying that it's going to be happening somewhere around June 30th. And if that's the case, then we'll know a lot more sooner. And what everyone keeps saying, it's going to be a full year ban. So me and you, we don't have to go on for hours about Deshaun. We both don't like him. You don't want to grab him. It is a moot point at this point. We are not going to talk about that. He is gone.
I do want to mention real quick.
Sure.
He was drafted in the draft we're going to talk about, but he was taken at as the last pick for that person. And I usually
I didn't knock him.
I wouldn't care for that. It doesn't matter at this point. But now I think going forward, he's not even worth that. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just obviously it's Mr. Irrelevant for this guy, which is the best case scenario if you're ever going to pick that guy up. But at this point, he's definitely going to be gone. But I do want to go back to also to Russell Gage, since we were on the subject.
Sure.
And looking at where he got drafted in this draft is 9-6. And that's way down there. That's going to be climbing to at least the 4th or 5th round, maybe even higher.
I wouldn't say that high. I'd say 7. He's probably going to go up like 2 rounds.
2 rounds?
It's very rare for you to jump 5 rounds that quick.
Yeah. Well, I bet you once preseason started.
Understood. Yeah, but honestly, he's only going to jump a few rounds. I do like his talent. I think you're going to have to grab him early for most people just because of the news with Gronk and just how how good of a player he truly is. I got Kevin saying here, come on, man. Massage therapist from Instagram are escorts and hookers. And honestly, brother, I agree with you 110% when they're giving non-disclosure agreements to these people when they walk in the door and they were, the Texans were helping them fight.
According to Anthony, they're all paid by the Houston Texans at the time, the team. So they must have been certified massage therapists, I'd imagine.
Oh, they have them too, but it's a whole thing. I'm not even going to get into it. I agree with him. I just think it's ridiculous. Like, come on, bro. There's definitely other ways to handle your business, and that is not one of them. Right. Anyway, I was saying before, just go to the Bunny Ranch in Las Vegas, and pay for what you want. You're already paying these people to do what you want anyway. At least when you go there, you know what you're getting, and at least I mean, come on.
And they're never going to complain.
No, that's their job. And at least you're paying the right person to do the right service instead of paying somebody to do something illegal at the same time as whatever. But anyway, we're not gonna do this. Right. So hey, don't say according to Anthony with anything involving Watson. Fair. I don't remember saying anything, but it's okay. All right. Yeah. So we are going to get into this mock draft. We're going to get into the grades and start going through that process. Now, we're going to start with the very own number 1 FF season number 1.
What kind of draft is this?
This is a Superflex 12-team full PPR league. Well, mock, whatever you want to call it.
Are you going to change our screens?
Huh? Oh, yes, sir. I got that. Sorry, my bad. So we got that.
I'm on your team up. Oh, we got it.
I got you up. You're good.
Man.
So we got FF Seasons in the house, and we got him going with Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams. He's got Chase Edmonds late in the 8th round with Raheem Mostert at the very end. Going with Keenan Allen to start his wide receivers in the 3rd. Devontae Smith in the 6th. With Rashad Bateman in the 7th and Chris Olave in the 9th. Then grabbing Jamison Crowder in the 12th with Mecole Hardman to finish it out in the 13th. Also grabbing Justin Herbert in the 5th round with a good pick with Trey Lance in the 11th. And then on top of that, oh no, this is redraft, not Superflex. My bad. It just looked like it for a minute. And then we got George Kittle with Dawson Knox to finish out his roster at tight end, which I like as well. I think that's one big thing that anyone should do if you get George Kittle is definitely grab someone there. So, Frank, do you want to start us off on what you
Why would you say that? If anybody has George Kittle, you better grab like a backup?
Because his injury history has just shown that he is susceptible to getting hurt, and I'd rather have a backup that I can trust than some random tight end that I have to stream. And as much as I don't mind streaming tight ends, I'd rather have somebody with a little bit of upside that I can do.
Well, thank you for saying that, because that's what brought me to – I'm trying to pull up the grades even, but I remember this case is I thought that it's just taking George Kittle too high now. Like, you know what I mean? I know that the name's there. I would have rather take Darren Waller there, and then he went another, a couple picks later or whatnot.
He's going tight end 4. I mean, honestly, that's not high in my opinion. I honestly think that Kyle Pitts is being drafted a lot higher than Kittle. I think Kittle and Waller are now taking a step down because of their injuries from last season. I know Waller was hurt for most of the season. Kittle has been hurt for the last 2 years with some type of injury. So for
That's what I'm
me,
saying. Like that's why would you take him that high? You know you're gonna not have a full season for that guy.
oh no, I'm not one to. I believe me, I'm not one to preach to go for the elite tight end in the beginning and go for someone like Andrews and Kelsey. I think it kind of messes up your draft in a lot of ways. I'd rather go after people after the Waller tier and go for guys like Dalton Schultz,
Ertz,
Goddard.
Knox.
Yeah, because Gesicki. I mean, I'd rather go for the late round tight end or mid round mid tier tight ends than go for a guy like Kittle. But I'm not gonna hurt. Like for me, I'm not gonna kill his grade because of it. It's just something.
Well, I think
I'm
that
just
affects
not,
the whole rest of the team and the makeup of the team.
True.
Because now you just wasted a pick there, and that's why I brought it up, and that's why I was kind of glad you mentioned Dawson Knox. Because if this team would look a lot better if you erase George Kittle and put somebody else there, and then leave Dawson Knox way down here.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you not say that's a better team? Like
fair,
a lot better. Like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter who you plug in almost there. Any other running back or wide receiver put in that position that where he took Kittle would be a lot better than what he got. He's going to probably get out of Kittle is my point, and that's where I kind of knocked him at. And basically that's it. Really, honestly, that's the one knock I had on the team. I liked everybody else, and Trey Lance is another one that I'm not sold on him. I've seen him in person. He hasn't had the reins. He didn't start last year. Ended up going to our good old buddy over there. Help me out. I can't even think of his name right now. Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. And I get brain locked sometimes. Anyway, so Jimmy finished off the season. He did pretty well. Like you know what I mean. It didn't leave like Trey Lance. The couple games he had was hit and miss. One good, one bad, one good, one bad type thing, and then it was just like back to Jimmy, right? And I don't know. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's I guess this is number 2, so I guess it doesn't hurt very much. But those are the two guys that I stand out to me that are like weak spots on this team. So I still give him a B.
Yeah, give him a B, for
but
sure.
It's still like those are the ones. I don't know. I think I got to nitpick a little bit more because these we've been given a lot of decent grades to these guys, but like at some point we got to start saying no,
that's fine.
This team's gonna win.
No, for sure. I mean, for me, this is my 7th best team. I ranked it a B. It's weak at running back. I love JT and Javonte Williams for sure. I've always been a fan of. I'm very high on Javonte Williams, but no true depth after that. I mean, with Raheem Mostert and Edmonds, it's kind of hard to have both those guys as your depth pieces. Wide receivers on the low end, of something I'd want. Like, I don't really like Devontae Smith. I don't really like Rashad Bateman that much because of the offense they're in. I like Jamison Crowder and Hardman as like dart throws, which have tons of upside. But like I said, I think that he was smart in if he was going to get Kittle to grab someone else. That's just my thing. It's not a really sexy team to me. So like I said, it's like my 7th ranked team. I gave it a B. I'm looking at Anthony's. Anthony gave it a 8. So, I think we're all in that same range of where we would like this particular team. It is what it is. But for me, I agree with them boys with what's up here. Kittle should be above Waller, and both should be above Kyle Pitts. I think when you draft Kyle Pitts at his tight end 3, you are literally drafting at his ceiling, and unfortunately, you get no value from that because I can't see a world where he is going to be above where he was last year. I just can't see it. So I understand why people want to do it, but I don't think it's worth it. So next is Den Boys saying, yeah, you guys have gotten soft. There used to be at least 1 or 2 D's or an F in every draft. So don't you worry. There are, I wouldn't say D's in this draft, but there are a few C's. Don't you worry. And Frank keeps it. He keeps us honest. He keeps us very honest.
Like, they can't all be winners. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They can't.
Somebody's
going to be losing,
winner.
and somebody's going to be winning. So
for sure.
You feel me? You got to have some decent.
No, I agree.
Like you got to throw it in there, and I don't think we have enough. Like honestly.
Now we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go to Ross's team. How about break down? How about you break down Ant's team for me?
Check it out because he went off with CMC right off the bat. I'll come back to comments here, but Mark
Okay.
Andrews is the number 2 tight end pick. We were just talking about not taking him that high, but he was the number 1 last year, I believe.
Yeah.
And obviously, good offense, everything's going his way. I don't see him not doing that again.
Oh, for
I
sure.
don't think there's going to be a regression. It may even improve, at least get the same numbers. Then he goes to Saquon Barkley, New York. There's a lot of talk about him, having a resurgence, getting back to what he's supposed to be. I think it's kind of killing his value a little bit. Like, I think he could have got it later, but I doubt it. It's one of those things. Him and David Montgomery are going around the same area anyways. I like Waddle, definitely. Mike Williams, Edwards over here, CEH with KC. Get all the touches over there, other than the new addition that he got over there. DeAndre Hopkins, another good pick. Jared Cook, not Jared Cook, James Cook. And then we got Jalen Hurts. Finally takes a running quarterback, but unlike Rasta, I think he just took the best that was available because he doesn't really like running quarterbacks for whatever reason, but he produces. I don't know why. Then we got MVS over here, new addition to KC. We got Algier, the running back over Atlanta, another one that's going to be getting touches over there. So it's a good option. Obviously that's a kind of wait and see kind of guy. Now we got Dotson in Washington, Matt Stafford, as a backup running quarterback. That's not a bad deal. And then we got Mitchie for Houston right receiver. I think I said his name right, Mitchie.
Yeah, Mitchie. Yep.
Another good rookie pick. Let's see, lottery pick. That's a good way to take him, especially as your last final pick. I liked it. I mean, honestly, I really like this team. I think he did something different. I'm just, again, concerned with CMC. Is he going to come back right this year? Is he going to, he's going to be injury prone again? Because that's 2 years in a row. You know what I mean? That's 2 years in a row.
Oh, you don't have to tell
hold
me.
Them on, yeah, you know what I mean? Everybody knows the pain. Like, and let's see how Barkley does over in New York. There's a lot of talk of him being, the next guy that's the breakout Frank. And everything else. But
no, I like, honestly, I like Saquon over there, and I'm very high on Saquon as a where he got him in the third. I think he's a value there for sure.
You think he's a value there?
For sure.
I think you get it lower. I think you get more, fourth or fifth.
Oh, I was believe me, I was hoping.
I don't think anybody's actually drafting him there anymore. They're actually drafting him around this spot anymore now.
No, they're.
The news is out, basically, is what I'm trying to get at.
True, but honestly, I've done a lot of mocks recently, and the one, like, if I'm in that second round, and let's just say I'm in Anthony's spot, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to go Barkley first, just because that's just who I like in that second round. So for him to get him in the third, coming back around, I think that's a steal for him. I honestly, even if I'm in my spot, like, I tried something new because I draft the same team every time. So I wanted to do a little bit different.
Yeah, you didn't this time. I seen it.
So I wanted to change it up a little bit, see what I could do. And in this case, honestly, I wanted to go. My brain wanted me to go with, oh, goddamn Martin. Yeah, I know. Shut up. But no, honestly, I wanted to get Barkley there. And it's just I turned my brain off for a minute. I went and I just went, you know what? You need to go, it's 3 wide receiver. Let's see what we can do with the wide receiver build and do it from that way. So we'll get to me later. But for Anthony's team, I got him as a B+. I got him at my 4th spot, my 4th team that I would want off the board.
Wow.
Yeah, I like this team for the most part.
We're at the same B+, which is kind of odd.
Yeah,
it's just weird.
No, honestly, it is, and honestly, he gave himself an 11. I don't know if that was just out of making sure he wasn't too big.
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just put his.
Oh no, you're good. I saw.
I drafted different, and I did not like this team. So he's already admitting he didn't like the team.
Yeah, he didn't like what he did.
And I think it has a lot to do with Andrews being that high, dude. Like, I don't care what you. I'm never drafting a tight end that high again. I've been burned every time I try it. I take up Kelsey. I had him, didn't do shit for me. Had Gronk that year. He was like injured. Every time I pick up a tight end and high in the first 4 to 5 rounds, I'm like done. Like, I think 5th round, maybe lower, is the best area that I could get a tight end. 6, 7, 8 is the sweet spot for me. I think you're getting one of those
me too.
Usable tight ends. They're not flashy, but I just need a steady Eddie. You know what I mean? I'm happy with 4 to 5 points from that position. Don't get me negative. That's all I want.
for sure.
You know what I mean? Don't give me a 0.
Yeah, I mean, for me, his wide receivers are a tad weak, except for Waddle and Williams. Like those are my two guys that they have wide receiver one upside, but they're really wide receiver twos. Good rookie running backs. Not a fan of CMC as we just talked about. It is what it is. How I feel about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Anthony
you
does
know,
love that guy.
yeah, oh, of
He's
course.
not
But
lying.
I'm just not a big fan of him at 2. I'm fine if he's going like for me, I'd rather get him at my spot if I'm gonna get him. Like I'm in the 8th spot. If he fell to 8, I'm picking him. I think it's more of a value. You're not getting any return on what you get with CMC in that case. So for me,
No.
it's not that he doesn't have the talent. It's just that the injuries are what make him that little bit more where I'm just not going to do it. Like I just don't feel comfortable carrying that type of, weight with me all year long. Now, it is what it is. But otherwise, I was listening. For me, I'm not high on Hurts either. Um, you know, he's a good upside guy with a solid, consistent, guy like Stafford. I like that build though, where you get a guy like Hurts and a guy like Stafford. I was listening to Jeff Ratcliffe today or yesterday while driving around, and he was suggesting, you got to go with that high upside guy that can rush with that good steady guy in the middle. So
Yeah.
for me, I like that
He's
from
boomer
this
bust.
team. Yeah, but Hurts's boom is bigger than Stafford's. And for me, having both of them and, at least having some stability, where you can switch it out for matchups if need be, I'm fine with all of that. I wasn't a big fan of the Hopkins.
And I'm crazy about that. Sometimes you outsmart yourself. You take the guy out, it looks like an easy matchup, and next the team gets blown out and the guy doesn't do well. And then the guy that you should have had in there with the terrible matchup just blows it up. Sometimes you outthink yourself by having too good of players on there, or like players that are in the same tier, and now you can't decide who to run with. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about where you get stuck in like every Sunday you're making a decision of who you're actually going to start. And sometimes I got lucky last year. I did a lot of good picks that are just like, where did that guy come from?
Oh, for sure. And like Anthony's saying here, I do like CMC though. I'm coming around on Hurts. The numbers are just too hard to pass up. Can improve and has AJ Brown. They have I have a ton of Hurts in best ball this year. I don't blame you. For me, I think AJ Brown definitely helps Hurts, but I don't know if Hurts helps AJ Brown.
Yeah.
And that's another conversation that we can have a little bit later down the line. But it's just something with me that I don't trust. So I try to stay away from those things. Dynasty Pylon in the house, as Martin's here.
What's up?
He goes, we have given CMC the new nickname of Girly 2.0. Honestly, I like it.
That's funny. I like it. Yes.
Yeah. Anthony going, I shoot for the stars, man. Ask Frank. I play aggressive and risky, sucker for value. Hey, man, if you were a sucker for value, I wouldn't have taken CMC there, but that's just me. Anyway.
Shots fired.
Let's and Anthony going on. I'm not even going to go into this. Anyway, we're going to go on to Brandon, and Brandon starting off the group with the 3rd pick. He goes with Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, and then with Elijah Moore in the 7th.
What's your brother, Brandon?
No, this isn't Brandon. Brandon is
John Scully or something over there.
Correct. He is a new drafter with us this season. He's been around for almost every draft. Glad to have him in all the ones that we can for sure. He is definitely. He's a good friend of the show now, and I'm glad to have him a part of it. Glad I reached out to him when we were doing mocks, and me and him have been in good contact. So he's going with Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans. Then he goes with Elijah Moore in the 7th. Chase Claypool in the 9th with Alex Pierce, who I really like as a late round wide receiver in the 10th. George Pickens in the 13th. Then he goes with Connor in the 3rd, with J.K. Dobbins in the 4th, with A.J. Dillon in the 6th. Rachaad White in the 11th, and Khalil Herbert in the 12th. I like Khalil Herbert a lot today too. I've heard a lot of good things about him recently and retweeted a few stats about him as well. Kyle Murray in the 8th with Kirk Cousins in the 14th, and then grabbing Darren Waller in the 5th, which I still think is highway robbery. So for me, I gave this team my second pick. This is my second team that I like. For me, it's an A
Oh, really?
minus. Yeah, I like this build. I'm not a big. I've never been a big fan of the wide receiver first type thing. Like I've never been a big fan of going wide receiver, but I understand in a three wide receiver format, you kind of need to go with that particular, setup.
Setup? Yeah.
So for me, it was it's aggressive with Cup as the third overall pick. I don't hate the pick. I don't see, he can only regress this year. So I don't see his regression being something where he
Dramatic.
is yeah, he's not dramatic. He's still an elite player. It's just for me at the third spot is an aggressive pick, and at the same time, I don't hate the pick. It's just aggressive.
It's just not for you.
Yeah, it's just not me. It's just I can't do that. I can't pull the trigger like that. Mike Evans is a great pick. We already talked about that before. I like how he has good value in all those spots. I think his running backs are probably the weakest part of his team, in my opinion. He's got two handcuffs at the end. Ricard White could have some standalone value. AJ Dillon does too, but at the same time, it's still, we still have a lot to see from Dillon. I really do like him a lot. Otherwise his wide receivers are, after Evans, and I do like Elijah Moore. Claypool and Pierce and Pickens they're a little bit more of upside picks. So I
Yeah.
like the balance that he has. So I like this, and of course I'm bigger on Kyle Murray and Kirk Cousins than most for the value that they are. So for me, I'm good with that, and Darren Waller as well. I liked how this team came about.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I'm not too far off of where you were at with it. Thought Murray in the 8th round was very good value.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an overall solid team. Like you mentioned, the QBs. I like who he has, and I like where you got him at.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, the upside and the wide receivers that he has on some of these guys. I'm with you. I don't think I would have took Cut there, though. I would have rather have had a running back and then took like where Justin Jefferson went is where I would have took Cut, maybe a little further down in the 6th spot.
Okay.
Najee Harris and Eckler are still better, and maybe even Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? Like I would have still taken those 3 running backs over Cooper Kupp. But there's people that, and I think Anthony and I have had this argument before where we've actually looked at the numbers, and it obviously so much of that has to do with the running back by committee now that all the teams are doing that. The top wide receiver is better to have than the top running back or whatever. At some point it fades off and it's a lot sooner now where it used to have, 5, 6, maybe even 10 top running backs before you took a top wide receiver. But now it's closer to the beginning, and I still wouldn't do it till about the 5th or 6th round is where I personally, I'd have to have a running back first in this redraft type of a league that it is. Obviously, you know what I mean? Obviously it's depending on the draft type. But yeah, overall team, I gave him a B plus.
Okay.
This is one of the ones that I noticed right off the bat where he took Evans, and that's where Godwin would have been drafted last year also.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like round 2 instead of Evans is going round 2 now. You know what I mean? That's the other thing that I noticed for the team. But I still gave him like my 3rd overall. Like
I saw that.
Team. So I really did like it. It is good construction. I don't mind where you took the Darren Waller at. You know what I mean? Like that's already 5th, and that's a good spot. You know what I mean? 5th, 6th round that you can get that guy. If he finished off good, like some of the picks, AJ Dillon. Let's see how he does over there. Maybe he takes more of a piece than he does, and then he's really doing something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a good team.
No, I like it, and Anthony agrees. He's in the he's got him at 5. So consensus wise, he's probably at the 4, or anywhere between the 3 and the 4 in this case. So that's great to see, and I thought he did real well, to be completely honest. So we got the chat going, and Dem Boys going with Claypool top 3 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Wilson saying Claypool says he's going to be the top 3 receiver in the NFL this year, and laughs at that. And true, I agree. Kevin saying that he ain't a top 3 pass catcher on his own team. Yeah, He ain't wrong.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with having that confidence going out there and having.
Oh, I love the confidence, but if you're
doing it,
no, the one thing that I've always been a fan of the talent and the size and all that stuff for, Chase. And the problem is the one game that threw me off was the game. I forgot who it was against off the top of my head, but they were in the middle of the 2-minute drill. They're trying to get down the field. He makes a spectacular catch. Everyone's like, "Oh my God." And he just stands there and celebrates with the damn ball as one of his linemen come up to him and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" Grab the ball and started ripped it out of his hand. The ball falls everywhere. They're in the 2-minute, it's only 10 seconds left. They're trying to get up on the line and he's celebrating. And the linemen are like, "What the hell are you doing?" And honestly, it gets to the point where you sit there and go, "What the hell,
man?" That's
not
being in the moment.
His cockiness is going over to be not inexperienced. It's considered he's a child.
Yeah.
Just young, stupid child. So all right, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go to Wilson. You want to break down Wilson's team?
Sure. Let's fumble. Hold on a second.
No, you're good. And yes, there's one for me. I don't do them often, but you know what? When I do, it's with gusto.
That's one for me. So let's check out Wilson. He took Najee Harris. He started off with a running back, Deebo Samuel. I mean, that's good value in the second round. Honestly, I think he should be going in the first round this year.
Okay.
Along with some of these other guys, I think. I mean, the guy's just phenomenal. He's running back / wide receiver over there on the team. He was doing everything. Let's see if he continues that this year, but still,
I doubt it.
I don't think you can miss out with that guy. He's pure talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you got Zeke in the third, Elijah Mitchell. So now he's got 3 running backs, one wide receiver. So he goes back to the wide receivers and Malcolm Brown, Hollywood Brown over here, in a new team. What do you think? How do you think he's going to be doing over there? This whole trade and everything over there. Sorry,
I think he's going to do well. No, I think he's going to do well in Arizona for his whole situation. I mean, he's going to be the number 1 guy, supposedly, the first 6 weeks while Hopkins gets better.
Yeah.
My assumption and my guess is yes, he'll be a well-used target, but I also think that AJ Green takes a huge target share out of this, from Hopkins being gone, because those vacated targets for 6 weeks is still high, and I still think
he's done with, dude.
If you think AJ Green is done and over with, he's been out for the last 2 years, and he actually played all games last season.
Yeah, but
I think he missed 2. He's gonna be. I'm telling you, man. This guy still has elite talent. This guy is still. I'm fine with that. I'll put $1 on it and go for it. Honestly,
it is.
I see that I think he's going to be the number 1 option for the team for the first 6 weeks till Hopkins gets back.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. Brown, I still think
Brown is in a good spot, and that'll help Hopkins. It'll relieve some pressure, and these 2 guys are going to feast over there now.
Oh after week 6, I think it's going to be a good team. Everyone on that team is going to be fed. It's just, I think for the first 6 weeks, Brown is going to have a good. I think he's being drafted too high, but at the same time, he's going to be good. He's still going to get the targets that are vacated from Hopkins, which are still, like I said, even for 6 weeks is a ton. What is it?
Yeah,
it's at least 60 targets, So, and Ertz too. I keep forgetting about Ertz. So then boys is going will lead the team in targets with Nuke out. Yeah, for sure.
Which he does have. He actually picks up Ertz later on here.
Yeah, I love Ertz.
Which I really like. I mean, he came out just fire over there. As soon as he got traded to Arizona, that boy was on fire. So I really do like the pick, and I think he's going to continue. He's been really good. He was really good in Philadelphia. I think they messed up and letting him go and all the things that they got going on over there. But thank God, because now Dallas is not playing against him, so that's all good. So we got Kareem Hunt here, the 4th running back that he's taken. Tyler Lockett, Mr. What is he, 9-2 or whatever on our draft thingy? That dude got traded more than anybody else I know.
Yeah.
Williams over here from Detroit. Again, we just mentioned Zach Ertz, Aaron Rodgers as his QB. That's nice. He got Aaron Rodgers in 10. What's it? Back-to-back MVP guy here?
MVP is falling every day. I see him going later and later.
Why is that?
It's because he lost Adams. Adams is
stretch.
his
That's what
bread
made
that
him.
he, yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hate to think that was the case.
Think
You know what I
about
mean?
think about the last 5-6 years and Rodgers' career, and before Devontae Adams came in, and then think about before and what it would be after. He's
Yeah.
older now. He's lost a lot of people that he normally had. He lost
Yeah.
MVS. He lost,
Yes. Yeah.
he ended up losing Adams. So now he's going with a bunch of rookie guys. Not saying that he can't do it, just saying it's going to be
Alan
really
Lazard is like
tough.
the season guy there, or what?
Alan Lazard's the only seasoned guy that they have there, other than Amari Rodgers, who was there last year, and I forgot the other guy off the top of my head.
Amari Rodgers, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, we'll see how he does. I don't know. I can't say if it's good value or not because Brady got taken right next to him around the same range, and I'd rather have Brady. So I don't know.
So Anthony's asking, did Rodgers win a Super Bowl before Adams? Though, yes, he did, but he did it with guys like Donald Driver and Greg Jennings.
Oh yeah, they were there
two of their best receivers in their history
ever in Green Bay, right? Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
We got Devontae Parker, J.D. McKissick here, Mark Ingram, then we finish off with Odell, who's injured right now, or what was it?
Yeah, he's going to be out till November.
So that's going to be a while before he gets to use him. But this dude's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs. I mean, if you're talking about running backs early and often, this is what we're talking about over here with Wilson. I think he just went a little bit over. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the mix of the people that he got. I do like some of them, but not overall. It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to mesh well. What'd you get him at?
So I got him as my 8th ranked team. I gave it a B-. Honestly, we Wilson, I love you to death. You are one of our ambassadors. You literally do more work than I can imagine to help this help this particular podcast. So I really do appreciate everything you do. Unfortunately, this is not one of your best teams that I've seen since I've been doing this. I do this with you every week, and believe me, this is not one of your best in my opinion. Wide receivers are not who I want. Debo has a lot of question marks, but not like crazy ones that I'm like scared about. He's still a top stud. I mean, I retweeted something today. I forgot who it was from, but it was great stats showing the breakdown of, his running back carries and even his targets and, his receptions and stuff like that. And how much it breaks down. And even though he might miss out on running, he still is going to eat doing the other stuff. So honestly, it's one of those things where I don't hate him at all. I'm not sure I'm on board with him with, wait, nope. Oh, and I'm also not sure with Debo, with Lance running the show. I'm still very in between on Lance. Running backs are fine. The wide receiver depth is good. I like Ertz as a late tight end for sure. And Rodgers is a great steal there. So I love the values of those 2 picks. I'm not feeling the whole rest of the team. I do like Parker and McKissick and Ingram as late.
B though, right?
Yeah, I gave him a B-. It's still, it's a solid.
I was at a C+. I was at a C+. I couldn't do it. See, that's where you guys got to start drawing the line and calling it like it is, man.
Yeah, I might have dropped it to a C+, but it was still relatively okay. Anthony gave him a 7. This is his 7th team that he would grab. So honestly, we're all around consensus like about where he would be. Oh, maybe. And yeah, Den Boy's saying, George Nelson was still there too, wasn't he? And Den Boy's saying before about Aaron Rodgers that, Aaron Jones will lead the team in targets. I agree with that. Rodgers having a staring contest with Sammy Watkins, and Wilson bringing up the concept that Watkins is in Green Bay too, but that don't mean anything to me. The Lizard King is just he's cold-blooded. He'll be fine, but beyond that, we'll have to wait and see. Wait till those camp highlights come out on Lance. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. They were also asking about our particular bet because them boys wanted to know the exact terms. Now, I think it's a good gentleman's bet, and maybe $1 or something. I'll Venmo you, and the bet was really that AJ Green is going to do better than Marquise Brown, at least for the first 6
for the
weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at the first 6 weeks of Marquise Brown and AJ Green.
Yeah.
And just look at fantasy numbers. Literally, it doesn't total after 6 weeks.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But for me, I have a feeling I've been a big fan of AJ Green.
You know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna start making these gentleman mitts, and this cloth behind me, I'm gonna start lining them up all these dollar bills. So later on, people ask what all these dollar bills behind you.
I'll make you
bet after bet after bet.
I'll make you a background
It'll
that
be like
has
a bar.
dollars
You know what I
in
mean?
it.
Maybe
I'll do that.
Hang
I'll
a
make
bra
you
somewhere or something.
Don't worry, I'll make you something. I got something in mind. I'm excited about it. All right. So we're gonna move on and talk to the man of the hour who's in the chat, just enjoying it right here. That's a really nice way of calling it Trash Wilson, saying that he hated his team. So for me, I'm gonna go with Dem Boys team. I'm gonna call it out. So we got Austin Eckler, Leonard Fournette, David Montgomery in the third. Then he goes with Ronald Jones and Marlon Mack in the 13th. Then goes with Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks. Got Amari Cooper in the 4th.
Why are you jumping around like that?
I like listing the running backs, the wide receivers.
Oh, okay, that's what you're doing. I was like, what is this guy doing?
My bad.
Why did he go down to Ronald Jones?
But yeah, no, he's got Amari Cooper in the 4th. He's got Brandon Cooks in the 5th. Chris Godwin in the 6th with, good old Bobby Trees in the 7th, and Mike Gallup in the 8th. We'll have a conversation about that in a minute. Yeah. And then David Bell in the 12th with Justin Ross in the 14th. Goes with Mike Gesicki in the 11th with Tom Brady in the 10th. Honestly, I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna say it. This was my number one team. Honestly, if I could grade my own team, which I don't, I would have had mine first and then Dem Boy second, but that's just me. but I love this team. I think it was well built. I like the running back depth. I like the wide receiver depth. There's nothing sexy about his picks. Nothing. You are not sitting there and going, oh my God, I want this so bad. It's not sexy, but it's consistent, and it will win you the weeks that you need. Brady is a great option late in drafts. I also love Mike Gesicki as a great tight end, late tight end option in the 11th round as a steal. David Bell is one of my top sleepers that I love. I think he's going to do well. I don't care if Watson's there or not. He still has somebody like Baker throwing to him, most likely. So for me, I love this team. I'm a fan of Ronald Jones. I know a lot of people in the industry are not. They're slowly cooling on him. And the one thing that kind of has cooled me off recently, and I think this was before this happened, but Jerick McKinnon ended up signing a 1-year contract with Kansas City. So this kind of affects Jones in a way, in a small way, but it's one of those ways that we don't really think about it. And I think this happened after the fact, so I'm slowly fading Ronald Jones, but I do like his talent. But Amari Cooper is solid. I love Brandon Cooks, as a wide receiver too. Chris Godwin is one of those plays that you kind of have to just put on your bench and hold. Robert Woods, I do like very much. I think he'll be the top option in Tennessee. Mike Gallup, we're going to have this conversation now. Okay? So Mike Gallup for me isn't going to be back until probably late October. That's just based on how things go. He's not coming back till mid-October. Drafting a guy like Gallup in the 8th round for me is just not – it just doesn't work. I think that you're better off going for someone like Mike Tolbert that you can get at where you got where you got Mike Gesicki, which all we would mean is just, kind of reaching a little bit ahead of time. But getting a guy like Tolbert, if you're looking to go with your particular Cowboys, I just think he's a better value because he's going to be used for at least the first 6 to 7 weeks and has a ton of talent that could easily vault him into that slot spot in the, in 3 wide receiver set. And he's going to be set for the whole year and take over what Lamb was doing 2 years ago. So that's just me. I could be wrong. But it's just that's my feeling about it. Other
I
than
don't
that,
think he's
this
going
is
to be
my
out as long
favorite
as you're
team.
going. I don't think he's going to be out
He
that long.
didn't he tear it at the last game of the season, 17, if
He's,
memory serves me.
the recovery's been a lot better. A lot of these guys are coming back a lot sooner than that. I don't think he's going to be out that long. I really
Okay.
don't. Like probably half that time. And I'm with you, Mike. I gave him an A. He's also my number one team. I mean, we already got out of the way. You mentioned, I mentioned it. Where did Anthony have him here? Let me see.
He had him at the 4. He had him at the fourth
Four.
best team.
So Anthony was not in consensus, so that still brings you down to what, like number 2 overall? Like let's put it that way or something. Because Anthony's down on him, but I think that's number 1 overall because it's 2 out of 3 or whatever, how you want to look at it. We just like I just like the structure of the team. Period.
Yeah, me too.
You said that the names were sexy. I thought the names were sexy.
Ooh.
I would like to have every one of these guys on my teams. Literally, this is what I would draft and who I'd be looking to draft. And especially the top running backs that he's got. And then he went, wide receiver heavy right after that. And those names that he got, I'd be more than happy to have Cooper in a new situation over there in Cleveland. And you were just mentioning about Bell as well over there.
Yeah.
And he kind of took 2 wide receivers from, 2 teams. Again, Dallas over here for Gallup. Well, actually not Dallas, but Gallup over there in Dallas. But, coming in late, I was thinking.
No, with the Cooper and Bell, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I understood what you were saying.
But I think that the way I'm looking at it, Deshaun Watson's not going to play, right? So now we got another opportunity for Baker to make a name himself because he's going to be basically leaving the team because they're definitely as much money as they're giving, Watson.
They said they're willing to give away half.
Yeah. So, with that being said, Baker needs to make his mark so he could get somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I look at it. So he's got to ball out this season and try to ball out. And hopefully, they're, Cooper and Bell are like the recipients of, all kinds of passes and it all works out over there in Cleveland because they got an incredible defense. The defense still holds him up in that game. So all they got to do is just do just enough to get him, some opportunities to throw this ball around. But yeah, overall on this team, you kind of went over a lot of the guys and I really just agree with a lot of it. I just like the structure, the guys he has, and this is my number 1 team for this draft. I would definitely be happy to have it.
Yeah, Anthony's got him at 4, so consensus got him at probably like the 3rd or 2.5, 3, something like that.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. So honestly, not bad. I mean, they're talking in the chat right now. Anthony going, them boys going, I think that's the first time Classic has ever given me the top spot. Mission accomplished. Hey, man, I have to give credit where credit is due. I think you did great with what you got and where you were, for sure. And then
going, yeah, you did.
Yes, you did.
You sold me on the team, dude.
Yeah,
I really wasn't even looking at people's names. I was just looking at the rosters and who they had them on there. I was like,
he had the best. Yeah, he had the group that I wanted the most. Dem boys defending his Gallup take, saying that at this point in the draft, he was my wide receiver 5. Was looking at Gallup for the playoff run. Hey, man, I'm not against that. You're going to just throw him on your team.
He's already thinking this guy. I'm not even going to use him till playoff time when this guy starts balling out. That's advanced thinking right there for you guys.
No, of course. And honestly, for me, the way that I think, I'd rather have a guy like Gage, or Tony or Landry or Tim Patrick, like someone that I know that's going to be playing for a little bit. And I understand, the reason to grab him, but spending an 8th round pick for my IR spot is just something I don't want to do. I think you have a ton of value in those picks that you don't want to waste that particular pick, in my opinion. Like, honestly, I don't mind grabbing a late guy at the very end that needs to be on your IR. That's one thing. But at the end of the day, I rather, I don't want to waste that IR spot pick on a guy that's in, the mid rounds. Like, that's just not.
So you're saying he would have fell further and he would have got him later, right?
You could have gotten Gallup later, most likely, and I rather have gone I would have went with Gage there, or like I said, like Tony or Landry, and maybe he would have came back around and you would have had got him for a steal. Because I think grabbing him that high is just it's tough. I understand he was the wide receiver 5 for his team, but I still think you could have got him a lot later and still got a good value for him to then not have to waste your 8th round pick on him. That's all. Not saying that it's a horrible pick. Just saying
literally the one knock we got on your team.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I can say about the team that I didn't like. Other than that, it's fine. Like it's my favorite team on this list. So
and them boys, you're on the clock.
Yeah. That's great.
But yeah, Anthony said he should have put you up at 3, but Cooper and Godwin knocked him a bit, down.
I
I
didn't pick
guess
Cooper
Anthony
and
doesn't
Godwin.
like Cooper. I really like Cooper. Godwin's a good pick too, man.
Oh, he's
gonna
talking about
retire.
them boys. Yeah, no, I get that. I like Cooper and Godwin. Godwin's just hard to rank because of his injury. He's the same thing as Gallup.
Yeah.
Gallup and Godwin are the same person. So, we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah.
So let's go with 58 WK next on our
58
list. Yep. You can break him down if you want.
Sure. This is the spot where we were talking about where Cooper Kupp, I think, should have fell, but he takes Justin Jefferson, another top wide receiver. I've liked him, had him a couple times. Actually, I think I picked him up the rookie season and wasn't able to get him back ever again. But it was nice. It was nice. It was a waiver wire pickup, I think, too. Aaron Jones, running back, T. Higgins, and Terry McLaurin against the scary Terry. So he's going to, going heavy wide receiver in the beginning. Gibson here for Washington. I think Anthony, we were just chatting recently about him that he'll make him like JT because that got Zach Ertz over there now. I mean, not Zach Ertz. Help me out, the quarterback here. What the heck is his name?
What, Murray?
No, in Washington.
Washington. Oh, Carson Wentz.
Wentz, because they had me stuck because of Ertz and Wentz. It's very close.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They used to play together. Anyways, so, basically saying that, hopefully Wentz there, Huck Gibson. He's the top. I'm not comfortable with him right at this point. Not somebody I want to have on my team. I'm just not sold on him. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, good quarterback. Gets him in the 6th. That's a sweet spot, to pick him up at. London, I like him. In Atlanta, rookie. Let's see what he does. Penny in Seattle, I really don't care about having any Seattle players on my team this year. I don't think they're going to perform well at all.
Okay.
Now we got the Russell Gage pick, which we were just talking about earlier. He went in the 9th, and I think that's where he's got the best value in his draft as far as somebody who has an opportunity to do something. We got more at KC as well. That's nothing fancy, I don't think, here. Pat Freiermuth, tight end for Pittsburgh. Freiermuth last year was finishing up pretty strong, and hopefully he continues that. Let's see if he could get some chemistry with the new quarterback over there. Has it been settled out who it is?
Who?
The quarterback over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right now Trubisky's in the lead by a lot.
Which is terrible.
Kenny
right?
Pickett is not.
That's the problem. My guy got killed, so I mean, you knew who I was going for, Haskins.
Yeah, I mean, R.I.P. I mean, honestly, it's just one of those things where I like Trubisky a lot more than I do Pickett, and Trubisky is a more seasoned vet to be able to. I'd rather have someone like him than a guy like Pickett. So I think that I think that he'll be just fine. Same thing with Deontay Johnson. I'm fine.
Yeah, he's more seasoned at least, right?
Yeah.
Van Jefferson over there at wide receiver in the Rams. He was doing some things also last year towards the end of the year. Hopefully it works out. David Price, running back over here in San Francisco. I'm not fond of San Francisco running backs because there's so much uncertainty with those guys.
He could be Elijah Moore, though. That's the only thing
exactly.
And then Haskins is he's more the Derrick Henry pick, but you could argue, you can definitely argue, and I retweeted this week about Dante Hilliard being the number 2 over there in Tennessee.
It's the real number 2.
Yeah.
Overall, let's take a look at the grade here for 50 weeks. I gave him a C. I wasn't also too happy on this team. I felt he was weak at running back, like I mentioned. I'm not too sold on Gibson or Penny. And those are basically the other guys don't really have much of a shot. They're not going to do much for you.
Yeah.
And we're just too heavy on wide receiver for my taste. Maybe somebody else, some people just like being heavy on wide receiver. I think he's going to have the opportunity that if he does well, he could pick up a running back by trading some of these wide receivers away. If they produce well for him, especially like Russell Gage or somebody like that, he starts going off. He'll have some mad trade value. And I like Mahomes and Freiermuth, as we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just nothing pizzazz. He's just a middle of the run team. That's why I gave him a C. I'd probably put him around the 7th pick for me or something like that, or less. Probably around the 8th. Just not nothing fancy.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I got him as my 5th team. I didn't see it as anything crazy. I gave him a B plus, even though I probably should be more towards a B minus. But not a typical build that I like to have, considering the options at all points. You know, this team is decently well constructed in a way. I don't like the pieces he got, but I like the way he went about it with wide
Yeah.
receiver, running back. You know, the way he went. You know, at that point, it's just preference of who you like.
Yes.
But for me, you know, he's very weak at at running back. I do like the Muth, Frymuth with Mahomes, and honestly, you got Mahomes for a steal as the quarterback 4. So I can't knock you on that. To be fair, you know, I do like pieces of this offense. I just don't like I like the wide receiver group up until I don't know, Sky Moore, and he's a
So the
decent,
rookie. Yeah.
yeah, he's a decent pick, but I'm just not big on him.
Yeah.
But honestly, I do like, the Jefferson Higgins with, McLaren. I like Aaron Jones. Not a big fan of Antonio Gibson, but Gibson's in a tier where he's probably the last elite guy that I would want to go for. And, even though I wouldn't want to, I mean, I'd
Right
probably
before
go
it
with
really
someone.
drops off.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, he's like the second to last
But
guy
let's say who went
before
after him.
Sanders.
CEH still went after him.
No, oh yeah, CH went after him, but Damian Harris and Miles Sanders, I'd probably want Sanders before Gibson.
Yeah,
Uh,
Damian Harris. I'd probably take.
yeah,
I'd probably take CEH or Harris over Gibson.
yeah. So for it, like I said, it's one of those things where it's your choice of who you want, and the build I like how you did it and where you got who you got. But at the end of the day, I just some of the parts of the team I don't like. But I couldn't knock you too much because of my own preferences. But I thought it was okay otherwise.
Yeah, yeah.
And Anthony decided to give this team his number 1. So this is
This
Anthony's
team.
number 1. Oh, come on. It has Gibson, his love
Yeah,
child.
he just drafted him and all that,
He likes
and he likes all
Mahomes.
the wide receivers, I'm
He
sure, and he's in
loves the
love with
wide
Mahomes and
receivers. Oh
Jones.
yeah, he loves.
Yeah,
Yeah. So for him, the first 7 picks, 8 picks, or 7 picks are well,
he's
no,
like
maybe
in love with
6
him.
are like this is his baby right here, like
Yeah,
what he would want. So definitely got that. Them boys going just got Cooper at 13.7 in Superflex IDP startup, crazy value. Good for you, my friend. That's awesome.
yeah.
Kevin, this draft was very good about guys waiting on QBs. And Pat going in the 6th is evidence. Of course, that's crazy. That's good drafting, makes skilled guys scare more quickly. Oh, of course. That's what we
Seriously.
do here, man.
Yeah.
That's all we do. We've been drafting. I've been drafting since April, and about
Right.
80%, 80 to 90% of the people in this room have been drafting since like at least May, June. So, this is a very skilled group. We got Scott Sharp in the house. What's going on? Evening, all. Had lots of stuff happening over the weekend. Hope to see you kids Friday night. Oh, you will, my friend. Don't you worry. We will be here. We have some
Anthony
news to
loves
take
this
care
team.
of. We have some news that we will bring you guys in a little bit. So yes,
Right.
then we
Breaking
got
news. Breaking
Anthony.
news coming up.
I wouldn't say breaking news, but just news for next week. So next, we got True X, which in this case I think is Chief Finn, who was here last week or 2 weeks ago. Yes, Anthony, stop breaking my news, man. Got it all set up. Then we
All
got,
right.
so he's starting off with Chasen as his 107, then going AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Allen Robinson, and Darnell Mooney all right in a row with Kelsey right in the middle
One,
of it.
2, 3, 4. Boom.
Oh yeah, goes 5 wide receivers out of 6 spots. Great for him. Goes with Alan Lazard late, AJ Green at the very end, which is very nice. I should have maybe have switched these 2 teams,
That's a
in my opinion.
2-0 RB right here.
Yeah, oh, I love it. And then he goes Cordero Patterson with Ramon Stevenson, Damian Pierce with Kenneth Gainwell, and Jamal Williams with Joe Burrow in the 8th, which, to be completely honest, is bigger steal than Mahomes. That's just me.
I think so. Yeah.
Otherwise, so like I said, I should probably have this team as my 5th and have it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it a B plus, move it around, switch it around, give the other team a B, and then this one a B plus. Honestly, this is a solid 0 RB build for me. Honestly, he got incredible value on everyone that he got. There's a lot of players I like here. I'm a little low on Metcalf, of course, but you're getting him as a wide receiver 3. Allen Robinson's a great pick where he got him. Darnell Mooney, great picks there. Alan Lazard, AJ Green, all these guys that I've mentioned before are great picks. So for me, this is one of the rare teams getting a tight end early that actually worked for you. And I think that going tight end early and going 0 RB is probably the only way that you can go about it. But the problem is that you are incredibly weak at running back.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Cordell Patterson. That's fine. Ramondre could take it over, of course. And then, Dameon Pierce, there's been a ton of news lately that he could literally be the lead back for the Houston Texans by the end of the year. Might be Marlon Mack to start to then transition into Pierce. We'll have to wait and see. I think Pierce is more of a best ball option than a redraft option, but it doesn't mean not to, try for him. Gainwell I like a lot too. Was the only guy, only running back scoring touchdowns last year other than Jalen Hurts. And Jamal Williams is just a good piece to have, with Swift and how he is. So I might have to start doing I might have to take an extra minute for myself every time, because this is one team I should have maybe ranked a little higher.
Really, I'm not that fond. I'm just not fond of 0 RB because
okay. I'm not either. But I like what he did. I'm thinking about it. This is the afterthought.
Yeah, I like the wide receivers he's got. Hands down, solid core. And then you're going to have to trade. And I'm not the best trader nor a fan of trading, so that's why I probably don't fall in love with this team, because that's just too much wide receiver going on. To have Cordero Patterson, who's definitely going to have some regression this next year. Okay. I don't think he's going to repeat what he did last year.
No. Algiers there.
You know what I mean? Like his age, and everything else. Ramondre Stevenson in New England, that's another, that running back by committee started in New England basically, or whatever, or dies in New England.
But Josh isn't there running the show anymore, so it might change. So I can't really knock him on it, and I think he's younger.
Who's the head coach?
It's Bill Belichick, but that doesn't mean anything.
It's not changing it, bro.
Right now they have no offensive coordinator. They have Matt Patricia running the run defense, run offense, not run. Yeah. And then you have Joe Judge running the passing offense. I don't get it.
I'll be sold when I see it.
No, I agree.
I agree. And then and it's not to say that it's bad. It's just they need to pick one that's the more consistent kind of number one guy, and then have the number 2 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just so rough over there. Sometimes it's just per game that somebody starts and finishes and whatnot. And because of that, Pierce, let's see how he does over there in Houston. Gainwell had some sparks, but I'm not trusting him. And neither am I trusting Williams also. So all these guys are just desperation picks to fill in the position and have somebody to start. But he's going to be hurting. And he's going to be hurting a lot on running back. And, hopefully the rest of the team kind of carries him along, because, yes, the best pick out of this draft, I think, is Joe Burrow at the 8th. You know what I mean? Honestly, probably the best pick of the draft. But
no, Joe Burrow is...
That's just me. That's just me. Anthony's probably got an 8. What does Anthony got him as at here?
Anthony's got him at 6. So we all kind of have him around the same-ish, maybe.
Middle-ish area. Yeah. I give him a C. I wasn't high on it. And maybe that's give him a C plus just because I'm being harsh. But probably not, because I don't.
The more I talk about it, the more I like it. You need the running
backs. Really? The more I talk about it, the more I hate it. I'm like, what are you going to do? Later, you know what I mean? You're gonna
understood. You're going to have to trade. You're going to have to do some finagling to get a RB2 that's, somewhat viable.
Right?
Yeah, you would have to go for, what I would probably do is do Metcalf and Robinson, or, Metcalf and Mooney for a Elliott or a Montgomery type guy, or Barkley, something like that. But other than that, it is.
And that's another guy, Metcalf. Who's quarterbacking over there in Seattle?
Right now it's Drew Lock, and I've heard it keeps going back and forth from Geno to him, but I think maybe Geno got it. Yeah.
That's not looking good for Metcalf.
It's what it is. It is what it
or
is.
Tyler Lockett. I'm just not taking any Seattle player. Stay away from him. You know, if you could avoid the guy, go to the next guy after him or before him. Like whoever it is, it's probably going to be better off than anybody on Seattle's team. Take it to the bank on that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Scott Sharp going, Burrow, Stevenson, Lazard was a nice stretch in my opinion. I like it too. I think even Damon Pierce and Gainwell to Green was a huge, like, that's the best part of his draft in my opinion. It's just he did a really good job.
Everybody's like, why would you have Joe
Why
Judge
would you
running
have
any offense?
No, I hey,
I love it.
coming from the Giants fan, I do not disagree. I was the first one that went, Joe Judge running what? Anyway, Scott going, them boys. Oh,
Sorry,
sorry, I got you. Them boys, because you want to run it into the ground literally in a bad way.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
So,
I love it. I love it.
So we're moving on.
We're going to go to my team.
Yours, yes. I'll read you off here. Classic Mike. He's going with Derrick Henry as his number one pick. Running back. Comes back with Tyreek Hill in Miami. Bryce Hall in the Jets. Then Jacobs. I don't know. I think you could have waited one on that one. But, either way. I like the setup so far. And then you go Jerry Jeudy in Denver. There's a lot of hype going on in Denver. Let's hope that pans out with everybody over there. Juju Smith-Schuster at KC. Hopefully he does something over there with Mahomes now. Something good throwing at him. Maybe that dude, has a breakout season. Davis was doing some things last year. Let's see if he continues those. And it's a good spot to take him at. Gordon, what is he, like a backup now? I don't know what's
dude. I got a like from Gabe Davis today. I was very happy with that. Yeah.
Oh shoot! In that case, thumbs up for Gabe Davis.
Yeah. Shout out to Gabe Davis. Honestly, shout out to Gabe Davis. Shout out to
friend of the podcast.
No, honestly, he does a lot of really. No, I've been following him recently on Twitter because I've been going down the Twitter hole. And honestly, he does a lot of great things for the community on top of, just being great on the field. But it was actually really cool. I got really excited. I got a follow from Carl Banks. I got a like from Jalen Hurts, or not Jalen Hurts, Gabe Davis. So for me, it's just Twitter's been fun for the last few days.
You're on fire, Mike. You're on fire. Yeah. So let's finish on your team. We got Russell Wilson in the 9th spot. I'm sorry. I like that pick. That's the whole combination with Jerry Jeudy that you're getting, and Melvin Gordon, which is.
I didn't even mean to do that. I just love the value.
Yeah, I mean you're getting some pieces of a team that's hyped and that was doing well last year. Let's see what they do this year.
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard, the one only now in Philadelphia because after Ertz left, and I think it benefited both of them.
Yeah.
That they split up that tandem duo tight end situation. It's not like they were running on New England where they're running 2 tight end sets and it was just killing people with Gronk and the killer. Literally. Kenny Golladay and Tolbert that you got down here. Some nice picks, kind of late coming up. Let's see, how they bounce back, especially Golladay over there in New York. I had him last year. I had high hopes for him, but you're getting him at the 11th spot this year, so it's crazy. You know what I mean? Hopefully he pans out and then he comes up and produces, number 6 or 7 numbers, maybe even 5 numbers, that, you should have got him at. And then you got Robinson and then Tua to round out the top, to round out your team here. I like Tua. I think he's going to be doing good. Tyreek Hill was talking him up. And you got that other combo right there with Tyreek Hill since you do have him as well. I've seen a video recently. I forgot who I showed it to. It was just like,
Yeah, he looks good.
Tyreek Hill's more than happy with Tua. Talking about, who was it? He was playing, Matt Moore was his quarterback basically, and he was just calling Tua 10 times to Matt Moore. And then when he had Matt Moore, he scored 175 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game or whatever during some stretches. And he was like, so he's more than happy with Tua. So I think that I'm not as scared of drafting Hill now.
I don't think you should have been in the first place. I was a little
having
skeptic.
him say that. You got to hear that. You got to hear that confidence from him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe he's just talking that way because he's obviously on the same team. But let me give you the score real quick, Mike. I gave you a solid B+ overall as my second number 2 team. You're number 2 behind them boys,
nice.
Who had an incredible team that I liked. So you're not far behind it. Yeah.
Look what Ant gave me. Ant gave me the solid number 2. I like it.
Oh,
Anthony
see, yeah,
goes,
look, you got a consistent number 2, so you're definitely the number 2
hey,
team in this draft.
I
That's
love
not
it.
shabby. That's not
No,
bad.
I like it. From you guys, that's huge. And Anthony going, I like this team, Mike. Keep drafting like that. Scott Sharp going, great draft, Mike. Truly a classic. I love it. Then
Oh,
Kevin
this
going,
big
I
not as high
love
on
these.
Judy.
Huh?
I was just saying. I was just reading that part. This is not as high on Judy as
Yeah.
other people, though.
Yeah, he's not as high as, and that's fine. And honestly, I'm not that high on him either. The picks that I was looking for at that point were got sniped. I was going for Brandon Cooks or Allen Robinson. Then after that, I don't mind Thielen. Yeah, and then I didn't really like anything after. I was trying to wait and see. Gabe Davis kind of fell to me down here, which I was really happy about. I like Juju Smith-Schuster a little bit more in the Kansas City offense. That's just my own opinion. I think he's going to be the possession receiver out of that group. So for me, I just like him. I just want some part of the Denver offense. I understand I got Russell and Gordon, but Russell and Gordon, like Gordon is more of a standalone value for running backs. So I understand, using both of them at the same time and all, but at the same time, I just like his value. And I like that I can have those 4 running backs with Robinson, which NBC Sports Edge football tweeted today that he's expected to return during camp, which is huge. And getting Gabe Davis for me as a wide receiver 4 is just incredible. I think I forgot the stat who told it to me. I think it was Matthew Berry. He said something around the lines of the last 3 years, Gabe Davis has had like 20 touchdowns compared to someone like Emmanuel Sanders, who's only had like 3. And like he's one of the lead guys. So don't quote me on that. He did a podcast recently. I forgot with who, and I was listening, and he put that out, and I'm like, damn, like that. I can't not keep seeing that in my head, and I love the talent. I liked him before he blew up on that Kansas City night. Like I've always been a fan of this kid, and like I said, it was just huge when I saw. I just liked something that he did, and commented, and he gave me a like. So I thought that was cool. And like I said, shout out Gabe Davis. I like what you do. I'll try to reach out. You actually have your DMs open, so good looking out.
Since Anthony says you hope that Wilson Judy stack makes up for it, and if he's just a wide receiver 2, that's okay. Not asking for him to be the wide receiver 5 overall. Metcalf wasn't even that, so think about that. You know what I mean?
And then
I think you're fine.
No,
but I got to point out one thing that you messed up on.
Go for it.
The one knock that you got here, we were just talking about you had to get some pieces of Denver offense, and maybe that's what it is. But I think he passed up on Dak that, went really literally the next pick.
No, I like Wilson better. I
think Wilson I know. And maybe that's because you're the Giants in you or whatever.
No.
Let's put another dollar bet. Let's put another dollar bet, gentlemen, on bet on this one. Do you think Dak better overall season than Russell Wilson?
No way in hell.
Let's put a dollar on it.
I'll put a dollar on. I'm good with that.
All right. See, there we go. We got two clear cuts.
Russell Wilson has the weapons that I think Russell Wilson has the weapons and the line and the defense. I think actually both teams are made similarly in a way.
Dallas's defense came up big last year.
They came up big.
We went from
shitty
nothing last to like an actual decent.
Trayvon Diggs stepped up, and you guys did well with Micah Parsons doing well. So you got a couple of good guys playing well, and you hit it at the right time. You guys were a great defense. I'm not going to knock that. You lost Amari Cooper. Your line is now garbage because you're losing out on Connor Williams and Leal Collins. You lost out huge pieces of that line, which is going to make Dak have to run a little bit more than he needs to. When Dak has to run out of the pocket, he sucks. And when he then runs, that's great and all. It just leaves him open for risk. So for me, and same thing happens with Russell, but he's on a better line than he was in Seattle. So I think that all these things just work better for Russell to be a better producer.
And he's older now.
Who cares? I'm fine that he's older. More why?
He's
out of the system. He's out of the system that wouldn't use him.
Out of that system.
But the thing is, he's out of the system. He's on an offensive coordinating team that likes to pass the damn ball. His offensive coordinator loves to run the ball or throw the ball. Yeah. So he can open up the run with Javonte, and Gordon, which are 2 great options, and then still be able to throw the damn ball anywhere he wants, when he wants, and have a little bit more control of the offense. And I definitely think he's a better game manager than Dak. Not saying that Dak isn't a good player. I'm just Russ for me is just a better quarterback as a whole and a better real life quarterback. And I think that will I think that will transition into fantasy this year because of the move. That's just me. But we'll keep that bet. Don't you worry. We got
because
this.
I like to tell and let you go on.
Sorry.
Moving on though, right? We gotta go because we got time constraints here. Go ahead, read it off because I just did yours.
No, you're good. So we got Bit Boys, we got Dalvin Cook, we got Nick Chubb in the second, going with Kenneth Walker in the seventh, and that's all we got at running back, which is what we're going to be talking about in a minute. Then we got Deontay Johnson in the third with DJ Moore in the fourth, Michael Thomas in the sixth, Garrett Wilson in the eighth, Tyler Boyd, who I like very much, in the 10th with Jacoby Myers and DJ Chark, who's another guy I love. Then goes with Dak Prescott in the 9th, who we were just speaking about with Deshaun Watson. Goes with good old TJ Hawkinson in the 5th and Albert O in the 11th. So for me, I gave this team, unfortunately, like I kind of led to, this is my 11th best team. I gave it a C-. I didn't really like the build. I would have went in many different directions for this team to be better. And this is not, I will specify, this is not because of the Deshaun thing. I don't mind him picking up Deshaun Watson as his last pick. That's fine. I don't care. You know, if he went with Deshaun Watson at the Dak Prescott pick, then we'd be having a different discussion. But who cares that he went with him as the last pick? Yeah, that pick is always a dart throw. It's fine. But other than that, wide receivers aren't sexy, but the strongest part of his team in, a lot of ways, even though they're not the strongest part of his team, there's only bits and pieces that are. Running back has no depth at all. I don't hate Cook and Chubb, but you have Walker, and we don't know what's going on with that situation in Seattle. If I'm going to grab a guy from Seattle, it might be Walker just because of the upside. But at the end of the day, you don't have anybody else after that. So you're pretty weak at, running back, because if one guy's down, you're screwed, and you got to use wide receiver in your flex, which you're more than welcome to do, which is fine in a PPR system, full PPR system. But Michael Thomas, we still have no idea what the hell he's doing. He's doing some jumps on on blocks on 1 foot. I mean, I don't know what his PT's doing. DJ Moore,
I just could have fell a little bit more on that.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Moore to me is I'm unsure about him until I know who the quarterback is in Carolina. If Sam Darnold's the quarterback, I'm fading him. If it's Baker, we'll see. I think I like Baker a little bit more than Sam Darnold. That's just my opinion. Deontay Johnson's probably the best pick out of this whole thing because of the value. Tyler Boyd, I like. I'm not a big fan of Garrett Wilson yet. I still got to see what I got. And DJ, I like DJ Chark a lot. I'm a big fan of him at least for the first, more than maybe the half of the year. So for me, I can't be on board with this team.
No, I'm right there with you. I kind of like the structure. I liked where the way he kind of structured the top of it, but the people that he picked up in those positions weren't meshing well, like you mentioned. And also agree that, like, where's the running back depth? You can't just have a maybe guy over at Seattle as your next guy up. You know what I mean? You need more than just that. That's where he kind of messed up in those picks. I like where he took Dak and things like that. But, overall, it's just a C team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just basically it is what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, I even gave him a B in my draft just because I did like the structure. Just don't like the players.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drop it down to a C and move him down some because you convinced me on it. Like literally probably moving down to like 10th spot or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, for Anthony, this was his 12th ranked team. And I think he's just seeing the same things I am. Just no running back depth. I mean, you need to have at the minimum 4 running backs to be any value of your running back position, in my opinion. And especially because we all have seen running backs just break down. I understand you can pick them off waivers. That's fine. But at the end of the day, starting off with 4,
you might get one if you get lucky early in the season. That's it.
But you want to start your season with a strong foundation, and that's what you need to do is, with those, running backs. So Anthony telling
Is he a first-time drafter with this? Maybe he got in there with
no,
the Sharks.
BitBoys. No, actually, no. This isn't his first one, but he wasn't thrown in with the Sharks. I think he's in a tough position, but there was definitely moves he could have made that could have made this team better. Mixon, I would have gone at the 9 or at the 109. I probably would have went with Hill or Jones in the next pick, even though I do like Chubb. But I think with Watson out, it kind of lowers his value a little bit.
Anthony put that up. I literally
Where?
was writing it down.
Nice. So Anthony said, break out the notebook.
Who was the first two players on the first one for the first 6 weeks?
AJ. Oh, okay. Yeah.
AJ Green, yeah.
But yeah, other than that,
and Brown.
Yeah, Den Boys already said, I got both bets recorded. Nice. I like it. We got Kevin going. It may not show up in the win column because of the division, but they are in, that the division that they are in. But Russ will cook and put up his stats. I agree 110%. Scott Sharp goes really strange team build, but I can't say it won't win. Worried about, yeah. I just don't know, man. It's in a tough spot.
Thomas.
I mean, worried Thomas is a retired diva. I agree.
Good luck.
Good luck with that. Maybe one more running back instead of Albert O. Yeah, I can go on top. I can be on board with that. I think if he went with Michael Carter there, or with J.D. McKissick, or even Khalil Herbert, guys like Marlon Mack or Mark Ingram, like someone like that, I'm okay with. You know, just a better running back that can be sustainable. I think probably Michael Carter's your best bet. But other than that, it's just it's tough.
Yeah, he could have get Boyd or Myers. He could have picked up somebody like Isaiah Spiller that went later on.
Yeah, I would have been fine with literally any running back that he picked.
Algiers, you could have got a couple of the guys that just at least upside guys, right? At least upside guys.
I mean, honestly, I would have probably gone with like Dameon Pierce at the Boyd pick, or Algier or White. I would have gone with one of those three before the Boyd pick, and then see Boyd fall to the next one, something like that. But other than that, I can't be on board with this team. So let's move on to Chief Gravy. What's going on?
For the bets, he just wants to be DM for this.
Oh, don't worry, I got him.
I got him.
I'll write him down.
I don't know what happened last year, but I think I could have won a couple. We're gonna keep track this year.
That's fine. All right, Frank. Break down Chief Gravy.
Is that what it is? Oh, it's Chef. It's not Chef Gravy.
Or Chef Gravy, whatever.
It's like Chief.
I added the I.
Right. So we got Stephon Diggs starting it off. You know, you get some firepower over there with the Buffalo team. Kamara, is he going to be suspended at all for the fight that he had?
We don't know yet. He could be next year. We don't know. We won't know until August, I think.
So let's see what happens with that, right? Yeah. I like Cam Akers, but he's been injury prone, and he was injured last year. What is he returning this year?
Oh yeah, no, he's 100%. Apparently, they tweeted that a little while ago that he is 100%.
I believe it when I see it. Kyle Pitts going in the fourth. I'm not a fan of that high, but he did finish it off with Monte Brown. I really liked Monte Brown last year. He was one of the guys that helped me win the league late. One of those late pickups that helped me out. You know, late. What do you call it? Playoff run guy. You know, Lamar Jackson, also a fan of that guy. Hunter Renfrow, somebody's got to get thrown to over there aside from Adams over there. So, you know, I think that's a good compliment. Trey Burks, got him in my team as well. I like him at Tennessee. Let's see what he does. We got Watson as well. You know, he's picking up with other guys. You know, let's see what happens over there at Green Bay. And, you know, we were talking about that whole situation earlier. Mm-hmm. So picking up some of these wide receivers, you don't know who's going to be the guy that pans out, but he's got to throw it to somebody. So let's see what happens, right? Alexander Madison, always a good handcuff because, for whatever reason, Cook does go down and Madison produces just as well. I mean, like, no problem. Rondé Moore over Arizona, another, you know, compliment to the pieces that are going on over there. We were talking about, you know, Deshaun's injury, DeAndre Hopkins' injury, and let's see what happens with him when he comes back. But he's going to get some good opportunities earlier. Michael Carter, I had him last year as well.
I like Michael Carter.
Now I forgot the new guy that's over there with them now.
Breece Hall.
Breece Hall, but he might, you know, eat into some of his touches, but maybe not. I don't know. It could be a
he will.
Split. He's going to be a 50-50 split, right? I mean, like,
more than likely. I think it's going to turn to 60-40 though.
Yeah, in favor of Hall, right? Or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but as a number 4 running back, why not, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not hurt you. Hunter Henry, another piece of the tight ends over there in New England. He was doing pretty good last year. I think it was the one to
Near the
have.
end. Yeah, near
He
the
was
end.
the one to have near the end, right? We couldn't tell who to go with at the beginning,
Oh
but
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
he kind of won the position. And then we got Gus Edwards running out as again, another handcuff there. Pretty decent team. We kind of ran through some of the guys, kind of highlighted what I liked, what I didn't like. I really like Lamont St. Brown and where he's getting him at, and I think it's probably the right spot to take him at. I like Lamar Jackson. I like some of the backups that he's got. Let's see how it goes with Kamara. But what do we get? I give him a B overall, and I think we just, again, the Kamara suspension and the Akers injury is the two most concerning parts of this team for me.
Okay. No, that's fair. I mean, Jay Media going Michael Carter equals running back 2, rookie greater than Carter, of course. So what up, Jay Media? How you doing? We got Scott Sharp going. Looking forward to these last 3 teams, especially with team 11 and 12 doing the exact opposite with quarterback. Don't worry, we'll get right into that.
Yeah.
Kevin going, in my opinion, Akers will have to make history on the injury standpoint for him to have a great season. Not easy to come back from. I agree 110%. So for me, this team was my 10th ranked team. It's a B. A lot of what Frank mentioned for some of the things. It's just a little bit of risk. But what I've handled, I probably would have handled this spot a little differently. I do like Diggs. I was having a debate with someone today about Diggs and/or Chase. Like, who would you want in those, 2 situations? In my opinion, someone like Diggs has a safer floor than someone like Chase. I think Chase's floor is unfortunately a little bit lower because of his boom games. His boom games are nuclear. I'm not saying that he's not good. I think he's a phenomenal talent and an elite.
Yeah.
But the problem
4 or
with him
5
is,
touchdowns a game.
but he can disappear in a heartbeat. And that's because he's got guys like Higgins and he's got guys like Boyd that can take over. And, it's not that he can't, he's not good. I'm just saying, Diggs is a safer pick, in my opinion. So for me, I would have gone Mixon. That's just how I am. I see the way, if you were waiting for wide receiver, you're going with Adams Lamb, Hill, something like that. If you made a couple of different choices in the start, I might have made this team a lot higher. Kamara is tricky this time of year, so we don't know. I'm not going to go into Pitts, being tight end 3. I just don't agree with it. And then I go,
right. I don't agree with
otherwise I just go where the market takes me with what you got. I don't mind St. Brown and Renfro. Burks is fine. I'm fine with him. Moore, I'm low on. St. Brown is fine for the first, 6-7 weeks until Jameis Williamson comes back. But other than that, we'll see. Chase, them boys going Chase over Diggs, even with the lower floor. No, and like I said, it's just what you like more. Like, that's the thing about that pick, is that it can be you if you want the higher ceiling guy he doesn't have a crazy low floor, but if you want to go with the ceiling guy, then go with Chase. Diggs has the potential, but for me, I just Diggs is a safer pick that can be. He's at the end of the middle of the elite tier, where I think he can, really do well. Jay Media saying I'm done betting on Diggs. You know what? I've been doing it the last few years, and I've been doing it fine. I don't mind him at all. But like I said, I gave him the 10th ranked team. B minus, maybe should have been a C plus. And then
C range. See, now you're getting it. See, if he's in the 10th range,
yeah.
you can't have
the more I talk, I got to talk myself into it, Frank. I don't do that when I'm looking at these things. I'm looking at it, and then I'm like, and then I get in my head.
I do that when I'm looking at it. I'm like, no, there's no way. I was like, somebody's got to get the hatchet.
And then I talk about it, and then I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like it. But in this case, Anthony gave him the 9th team. I don't know what it is today, but me and Ant are on like the same page. It's really weird. Sequence? We never I guess it's because he's not here. I'm just going to throw that out there. Next, we're going to go. It Rocky probably
69 is. Bomb.
So we're going to go with Rafi Bomb. I love Rafi Bomb. Me and Rafi Bomb have been getting along great recently, so I hope he's here listening. I know he said that he was going to try to watch the show today. So, Frank, why don't you break his team down? I'm going to wait to give him my grade.
Rafi Bomb. Here we go with Deandre Swift. sweetheart last year, finishing up strong. I had him on one of my teams. I'm very comfortable with him, especially we got him at the 11th pick. CeeDee Lamb coming back. Hopefully, he breaks out this year. He's got some shoes to fill because I really like Cooper.
Yeah.
I think that Dallas, I'm not sure what happened over there. There was a breakdown in communication, obviously, or something happened there. But
I'm lower on him than you are.
On CeeDee Lamb, you don't think he'll do good?
Yeah. Not that he won't do good. I'm just not a big.
He's not going to
I
get
have
number
my
2
own
guy.
reserves.
You're thinking more like number 3 then, right? Round 3.
I
Lower
would
than round
prefer
3?
him. I would prefer him in the end of the third or the beginning of the third, end of the second, compared to where he goes, which is usually the beginning of the first. But it's only. I had this talk with Big Travie from the Fantasy Whisperers the last time I had him on, and for me, it's the line. Like I said with you before, he's losing Cooper, and I think Cooper is what made
Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb good, even though Lamb did well when Cooper was out on injury. I think a lot of the factors were in there, but he no longer has Connor Williams and Collins to help on that line. And, those are big deals for Dak because if you see Tyron Smith, look at his stats when Tyron Smith's out. I'm just going to put it that way.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
I know the numbers.
I'll let you continue.
So we got Pittman in Indy, and then Cortland Sutton, another Denver piece that we've been high on. What's the injury report on him? Is he good?
Who, Pittman?
No, Cortland Sutton.
Oh, Sutton's fine.
Okay, so who's the
Judy?
Denver guy?
Judy has the groin injury.
Judy's the one with the groin. Okay. So I can't keep track of these guys all the time. David Harris, Sanders. I'm not a fan of Sanders, but
I like
he's
Sanders.
out there. I think what did he finish off last year?
He didn't finish well, but I think he was like in the 30s. But he is on the number 1 rushing team in the league, but it was mostly because of Jalen Hurts. They have the number 1 rushing offensive line. I do like Sanders a lot. He had 754 rushing yards and didn't have a touchdown. I think he can if he stays healthy. It's just he's got to split it with Hurts. I think they can be a really deadly combination as long as he stays healthy. That's the biggest problem.
I think because Hurts, he'll never get there.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're wrong. Just saying. No. I honestly, I agree with you. I just, I do like the talent. I think he has a very good talent. I think he's the Felix Jones of the Darren McFadden era, if you remember that, where they were both on Alabama and Fadden came out and then Felix came back and then they both so
both washed each other out or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
So we got Brandon Ayuk here in San Francisco. I think he could have waited longer on that pick.
Yeah.
At the 7th round, he could at least drop down to 9th or 10th at least. He was a waiver wire pickup for me last year, and he's just off and on, basically. Tony Pollard, on the other hand, I do like where you got him. I think he's going to be a good handcuff to have this year and maybe even take over a spot. Who knows? But, I hear good things about Zeke. Lighter, getting faster this year, getting stronger. It seems like he's done with Cabo and playing around this year, so hopefully he gets serious about his job. And obviously I think he's almost towards the end of his contract or whatever, so he's probably not going to get picked up on another team. I don't think if he doesn't finish off well this year, he's pretty much done, I think. Nyheim Hines, who's always been somebody supposed to be doing something, but he's never has.
He's going to be a good part of that offense. I'm not saying it's going to be 50-50, but he's going to be involved. It's going to be like a 70-30 split, but the 30 that he gets is going to be something.
Yeah, you're not going to sell me on that because I haven't seen him to do anything yet, even when he had the opportunity. I like Henderson better than him.
Okay.
Just for the handcuff and what he did produce last year, I think he had better numbers than Hines did, and I would be way happier with Henderson. Cole Kmet, another tight end that I think Anthony liked. I think he started producing some numbers towards the end of the year, doing some decent things. David Carr, who might be a steal or not this year at this position, especially where he's getting them at. I'm not comfortable with Derek Carr until I see it. I don't know. I know that he's got Adams now and yada, 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 but I don't know. It's just I'm not sold on him. Watkins over here at Green Bay, that's a story now. Whatever that's going on, let's see how he does. And then finishes off Gerald Everett, which I like better than Cole Kmet. I would have just had Gerald Everett and somebody else over there instead of Cole Kmet. I just finished off this team with a C. I wasn't pizzazz. I didn't have anything that stood out to me. We've got good wide receivers, and then took some RBs as an overkill, and again weak tight ends. And again, I'm not really, Carr as quarterback. Just not thrilled about it.
No, that's fine. Before I get into my stuff, we got J Media going. Swift is a first round material now. I got some research to do. Yes, he is. The fantasy footballers actually just did a good piece on Deandre Swift. If you watch their most recent episode of Bustin' Sleepers, they actually have a really good breakdown of Swift. So check that out if you're looking to do some research. Kevin goes Hines and Pollard. May see time in the slot playing Debo type role.
It's a copycat.
It's a copycat league, of course. Then here's J Media's hot take. Jamar Chase equals the new Randy Moss. I like it. It's spicy. But in what capacity? I kind of want to know how that goes. If you think he's a Hall of Famer, is it a this year to his second year type pick? Like what do you mean by the
I think he means like the overall career and the way he plays, and because he's like the long ball guy. It almost seems like Randy Moss was. He just go throw him down the sideline, jump up and grab it. Next you know it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And I see Chase similar to that in a way. That kind of possession type person, player in the wide receiver or whatever. And I can see that. I like it.
Randy was a little more consistent though. So for me, I just want to have a little more clarification.
I think he'll get there this year.
Yeah,
I think that consistency come up.
So for me, I rank this team.
That seems plausible. So he's thinking, it seems like it could happen, right? Yeah,
we'll see. So for me, this is my third ranked team. I like this team a lot.
Really?
I gave it an A-. Yes, I did.
Nice.
I like what Rafi did. I really do. Solid. I think he has solid wide receivers for sure. Running back is average in my opinion. Swift is fine. Harris is fine. I think Sanders and Harris are his good value picks. Pollard is a good handcuff. Or Hines does have some value. I think Henderson is a great pick. If you guys listened to Big Travie when he was on here last time, he retweeted a really cool stat. I forgot who he got it from. I think I don't want to quote it without getting it right. But check out Big Travie. He definitely has a lot of good stuff on him and on the Fantasy Whisperers in general. They just did a great show today with Sigmund. I forgot his last name. He's the co-owner of Football Guys. Real great guy. I was watching them today. But he had a really good take on Darrell Henderson, which I think people should be a little bit higher on. For me,
that's what I said. I think he would be higher than Hines where he's at.
Well, honestly, I think Henderson is a steal because people aren't realizing the concept that Akers and him are going to be split in the backfield. And if Akers gets hurt or does anything to mess up the Achilles in any shape, way, or form, then it goes right to Henderson, and he's an RB1 right off the bat.
They're comfortable with Henderson. Don't get it twisted.
For sure. So that's part of why I think.
Who did we have there last year too? There was another guy that
they also had Sony Michel, but Sony Michel went to Miami.
Is he still there?
No, he went to Miami. So honestly,
Derek Henderson show for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I like Derek Carr. I've said it a few times on here. I'll say it again. I do like Derek Carr. I like his consistency. I like his accuracy. I think Adams only helps him in a lot of ways. They built the lineup. They definitely bought in new pieces to help because they had trouble with it last year. He's got tons of weapons. It's his year. I think he can do well. He's the third, believe it or not, third most accurate quarterback out there with adjusting completion percentage, just underneath Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. So for someone like that, I mean, I'm sold on Derek Carr being a late round quarterback that I'm looking to grab if I'm looking to go with the late round quarterback. So he's in that boat for me. I really do like him. I'm not sold on Kmet. I really do like Everett a little bit more. I probably would have went. I mean, there wasn't really much left at that point, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have skipped out on Henderson for Gesicki or anything like
I
that.
would have Henry there.
Yeah,
Maybe a
I
couple
don't mind
spots, or even
Komet because
or even just take Everett there and just call it a day.
yeah, I mean Komet's not horrible because of his skill set. I think he's a really talented player. But either way, I gave this team A minus, my third spot, and so did Anthony. So little
Wow, I
weird
was off.
that me and Anthony
I'm
we
off.
normally have like one or two teams that are like within one or whatever, but these last few
You
we've
guys have
been
been
getting
lining
in
up.
the oh my god, it's weird. Very weird. Only days he's not here, so that's fine. So we're gonna go and move on. Rafi, great job over there. I like what you do, and great talking with you. He's always down to draft. I met him recently too. Him and Chef Gravy. We've been Chef was a brand new drafter with us, so thank you for drafting with us. We hope to get you again. We got KJ Flint, number 20.
Last
We
but not
got
least,
last but not least, don't worry, brother. We got you now. We got Joe Mixon with Devontae Adams. Sorry. I already broke it down the way I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it again. So Joe Mixon in the first round. We got
yeah,
Travis Etienne in the
yeah,
fourth, going with Devin Singletary in the eighth, with Spiller in the 12th, Brian Robinson in the 13th, with Daryl Williams, who is a steal in the 14th. So that was a great pick in my opinion. Devontae Adams in the second, going with Adam Thielen in the fifth. We got Christian Kirk, who's a really good pick in the seventh. Kadarius Toney, Jarvis Landry, and Tim Patrick right at the end in the 11th. I love it. I love those three picks in a row. Dalton Schultz, who I love, and Josh Allen to finish it up for the quarterback. Honestly, I probably should have rated this team a little bit higher, but I gave this team my ninth rank at a B minus. I do like bits and pieces of this team. The running back is a bunch of handcuffs with a ton of upside, in my opinion, at the end. So there's not much running back depth. So that's part of the reason why I don't like this team. It's just a lot of handcuffs, but they do have upside if they're on the field. So I don't see them having a ton of standalone value. The only exception to that is Daryl Williams, who I think will have a big part of that Arizona offense. And if James Goddard is to go down, he is the next guy up. I'm going to keep pointing this out until someone listens to me, which I keep. Everyone just doesn't want to hear it, and that's completely fine. I know that ETN, I've said it before with the Liz Frank injury. My fiance is going through it now. She just came out of surgery today. She's doing fantastic. She just is healing up, listening to me scream in the next room. But she's doing fantastic. So I'm really happy that she went through, got through it and everything's good. But right now, we were told this is a career ender for a lot of people. And she just texted me saying I am screaming. So, honestly,
we're getting along with it.
she'll be fine. But either way, the doc said that it's based on if it's a bone Liz Frank break or a muscle Liz Frank tear. So there's two different types of it. So it could be a little bit different it could be one of the, I don't remember which one it was. The bone one is a lot harder to come back from compared to the muscle one. So if it's the muscle, then it could be, or the tendon doing something where he tore it or something. All I'm trying to say is that it's still a scary situation. It's still the second hardest thing to come back from for any person that gets it. You, me, anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. It's a year to come back from. He's got a full year under his belt. He's coming back to camp. He'll be in camp. He's doing well in OTAs and stuff. That's fine and dandy. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, I am still very, very iffy with him being my running back 2. Yeah. If you want to get him as your running back 3, that's fine. I'm completely okay with that because there's less risk involved. But at the running back 2, that's exactly where it is. And
then the rest of them are, like you said, are all handcuffs.
Yeah, it's all handcuffs.
And they're all hopefuls. And that's why I couldn't – I wasn't as high on this team. I said, I gave him a C. Another guy that's going down. Some good pieces, some bad players. I mean, I like some, obviously the first 3 picks, you're looking all right with Joe Money Mixon, Devontae Adams, and Josh Allen. And then from there, it kind of drops. I mean, I liked the Dalton Schultz picks, and I think he could have even waited on Schultz. I liked Christian Kirk, but again.
No, he wouldn't have gotten Dalton Schultz after that. Because
I would have.
No. If he did not draft Schultz where he did, he was on my team.
It was on your
Just
team
saying.
next. There you go. So there you go. At least you drafted him in the right spots. But the rest of the running backs, as he mentioned, is just too few, too little. I do like Kadarius Toney. I'm not sold to Jarvis Landry. Done with him.
Oh, I am.
Tim Patrick. Everybody wants to get a piece of the Denver offense for whatever reason right now. So you got a little bit of that going on. But I mean, let's keep it real. You don't have a core like any depth, and without that depth, he's not going to last to the season because these guys do go down. It's proven, especially you were just talking about the guy's injury and everything, and he's probably going to have a couple days where he goes out or they baby him or whatever because of the injury. So you're definitely going to have to put in your backup since it's not going to look good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. They're C's. It's a C. It's
Okay.
not.
No, it's fine. That's why I had him at a B-. Like that, the running backs would did it for me. I think the wide receivers are pretty freaking stacked, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Scott Sharp, thanks for joining us, man. I can't wait to see you on Friday. We'll be here. We'll tell you all about it. If you listen tomorrow, just listen at the end. But I do like Tim Patrick as a really good value for the Broncos. One thing I will say, the one knock on Judy, and the one thing I will kind of give him, a little bit of a con to him. This team is going to probably end up at one point running 12 personnel more often than they do 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receivers. In this particular case, if they run 12 personnel, they're going to have just Sutton and Patrick because Judy is not going to fill that role. So honestly, it's just something that I don't see, but I like Tim Patrick there. I like Tony.
I'm sorry.
No, this is funny because he's right. Like, yeah, Mike, and Mike asked her doctor about this. Surprised you're breathing. Yes, I did ask her. I did ask the ortho doctor in the room about this. So, Ten Boys goes, for real. My wife would have had strangled me in the doctor's office with the doctor's skepticism.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, she gave me the look of death after I did it. And
like, what are you doing, right?
Yeah, no, she was like, no, just shut the fuck up, please. And it just.
The doctor wanted to answer anyways. He's like, oh okay.
Well, he didn't really answer the question in the strongest towards like what I asked. He just said straight out that it's a career-ending injury that can definitely affect anybody, and I don't care where it's torn or whatever it is. It's something that is incredibly hard to come back from, and it's one of those. No, it's okay, buddy.
Screen back.
No, I got you, brother. And it's one of those things where, either way, he's going to have arthritic pain. Like, that's the problem. So he's always going to have arthritis in that particular foot, which means, and yes, Kevin, incredible dedication. And believe me, she hates it. Me and her, it's just really funny. She's a true trooper. She lets me get away with way too much. But at the same time, she's a trooper. But either way, I'm just really not sold on it yet. I do see him playing in camp. I see the potential that he can have, but the hard part is that I can't get past the injury and how, devastating it can be. So, and Den Boys go, that's why he's classic.
Hey, so we start wrapping it up here because we're going almost on.
We're gonna wrap it up. Sorry. So Ryan goes, which one of you is the Wilson 27? Wilson is in the chat somewhere, so he will get back to you when we at one point in the chat, and we'll let you go with that. I do want to just point out real quick that we are sponsored, which I should have mentioned in the beginning, but or somewhere in the beginning, right? I didn't even get to it because me and you have been talking all night, and I love it. Yeah. So if you guys use the promo code below, get right at Underdog Fantasy right over there. Yeah, as long as you guys go to Underdog Fantasy, use Get Right as your promo code. If you do that, they will match you up to $100. So make sure you put in $100 and you get $100 back. So make sure you guys sign up. They have best ball drafts. They have Best Ball Mania that's going to be closing soon. So make sure you guys sign up as soon as possible. Get in those best ball drafts. They are fantastic.
And
they are one of the best.
We will probably do one is get a draft going live.
Oh, don't you worry, Frank. We will get a live draft in here soon. I will do it during the week.
On the Underdog Fantasy website. I do like it myself. I won a little bit of money last year.
Yeah, me too.
I lost more than I made. I think Anthony made some money.
Yeah. I made
But
some
I mean,
money.
we were just throwing spaghetti to the wall just to try out the system sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what happens.
Oh, nice. Kevin Rafi. Oh, wonderful.
Out, man.
So Kevin is Rafi. I love it. I love it. Great to see you, Kevin. Glad to have you in here. I'm really happy to, that you're around and we've been chatting. So thank you so much. But make sure you guys check out Underdog, best ball sites for every sport. They do a lot of pick'em for NBA, hockey, whatever you want to do while hockey's still around. And basketball's done. So golf here and there too. Baseball, there's definitely something in there too. So make sure you guys check them out. They're great. I do want to point out for the end of the show that on Friday we do have a special guest. We have a special guest coming. His name is Kyle Lederman. Lederman. I'm going to get it wrong, and I'm going to definitely talk to him about it beforehand. He is a writer for Rotoballers. It's on SiriusXM, Channel 87. They are a great podcast, and they're also a good website. So I'm having him on the show with me on Friday, and we're going to do a mock with you guys and have a nice little talk.
Shoot,
we also,
Shoot, I may join you guys.
Yeah, we also have, we have way more in store for you guys coming up in the next few weeks. So make sure you guys are checking us out every Friday night. I try to do 10 p.m. Eastern. It'll vary here and there, but mostly at 10 p.m. Eastern to, see who we can get in here. I want to get you guys the best content possible and the best guys in the business to try to get you guys some different opinions instead of my own and Frank's and Anthony's and Dustin's. So I want to make sure we get you guys the best around. We also might have something going on next Monday, which is nice as well. So make sure you guys check us out. We're going to be here every Monday as long as we don't have anything crazy in our lives going on. We will be here Monday. We will be here on Friday. So check us out. Otherwise, Frank, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
Thanks for being here. We had an incredible number of watches the whole time for 2 hours. You guys are hardcore. Love it. Thank you for the support. We super appreciate it. We can't do this without you guys. So please do like the channel. Please do subscribe, as Mike has pointed out. We get a lot of you guys on here, but not enough likes. We really do need the likes. We do need the subscribes. I can't, we got to beg.
Yeah, Wilson's been a huge help with getting us a lot of our. Wilson's been helping out with subscribes, so thank you, Wilson, for all that you do. I try my best on the back end as well, trying to get on Twitter and Sleeper and all over the place. Make sure also to check out Sleeper if you don't have it. That's the mock draft platform that we use. If you don't have it already, it's right here. Just screenshot it. I'm going to leave it here for you for a few seconds, even though you could probably pause and do it. I don't care. I'm going to keep it up for a minute just so you have it. Make sure you guys check it out. And in the description, we do have not only where you can get me on Twitter or where you can get Rasta or where you can get Dustin. Frank, if you're on there, give me your Twitter handle and I'll make sure to get it up there.
I use our Twitter.
Then there you go. So check out Get Right Fantasy on Twitter. Yeah. So either way, make sure you guys check out all those things.
Go check out
everything.
Merch.
Everything. We got merch, everything in the description down there. Just check out the website. Oh, yeah. I got articles from last year you guys can read and then see how bad I did. It's fine. But otherwise, it was great doing this with you, Frank. If you have anything, you got anything else before we sign off?
Peace out, guys. Love you.
All right, brother. We're out of here. See you guys.